Is there anybody here in the audience tonight who has roots in the state of Maine? Or maybe went to college in Maine? Or maybe had a vacation in Maine? Anyway, the next number is called New Colonial March, and it is written again by another American composer whose name is R.B. Hall. And he wrote over 100 marches during his lifetime. He's a native of Maine. In fact, our chit-chat in the band tells me that we have several people who are going to visit this band festival, which takes place in the last weekend in June. And it's called R.B. Hall Day. And they all go, and they bring their horns, and they play all his marches. You might know, well, let me try another question. Is there anybody who's a Stanford graduate? Because the last part, or the trio of this march, also happens to be Stanford's fight song. So here we are with New Colonial March.
Not too fast. And feel free to play soft. You can play soft. Feel free to play soft. Not too fast. One. There's 3 in the red book. Oh, wait, no, blue book, sorry. B3, blue book. Sounds very good, by the way.
We're going to step away from the match genre for the next number. The title is To Reap the Blessings of Freedom. And it's a medley of tunes that will feature each of the hymns of the services. We feel this is especially fitting because we've just passed Memorial Day. It's been the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And, of course, the 4th of July is coming up. So listen, and you will hear the hymns of the various armed services.
in its place. So it's the new sheet.
So we're going to do your ramp right outside. Yeah.
Now here comes a patriotic tune that I'm sure most everybody will recognize. It was written by a gentleman who was actually a native of Providence, Rhode Island, right down the road from us, George M. Cohan. And we're going to play Your Grand Old Flag. And in keeping with that, I would just like to tell you just a tiny bit about this band. The band was formed shortly after World War I in the 20s and went and became quite well known throughout the American Legion world. And during World War II, we took a hiatus and then started up again in 1960. And we have a gentleman in the band who was actually a veteran of the D-Day invasion. He went into the service obviously very young. He's been with our band since the 60s, and his name is Howard Hansen, and he comes from Canton, and he plays the alto saxophone. So could you give us a little salute or round of applause for Howie? There are also among us veterans of other conflicts and who also served, of course, in peacetime. We will have all of the other veterans who have served in the armed services who are now in the band. Could you stand, please? And now, George M. Cohan's Your Grand Old Flag. Well, I bet you didn't think you were going to get a night at the circus with us tonight. However, we are playing quite a few circus marches, and this one was written in again by Carl King, but it was it's a little different in flavor and style. It's called Pan American, and it definitely has some Latin rhythms and sounds to it. So again, Carl King March, he wrote this when he was working with the Barnum and Bailey Circus Band, and we're glad to bring it to you this evening, excuse me, Pan American. Well, we have another circus match coming up next, another Cow King match. But before we start, I would like to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about the band. We are always recruiting for new members. We have quite an age range. We range from people in their teens to people in their 90s. We rehearse every Thursday evening through the summer over at the Pappas School in Canton. And we are recruiting, wishing people, maybe you played in high school and you put the horn in the closet and, it might be time to get it out. And I'm sure that those experiences in your high school days will come back to you very quickly, and you'll soon be playing as you did then with a high school level of music performance. So take a look at our website. It's Canton Community Band.org, and there's all kinds of information about us, our schedule, and also the fact that, of course, we're always recruiting. You're never too old to pick up that instrument again and enjoy it. So that's my commercial for this evening. And we are now going to play The Huntress by Carl King. He, again, was a prodigious writer of circus marches, and he did what John Philip Sousa did for patriotic marches during that period of the early 20th century. He did the same for circus marches, and they're good, and they're universal, and they're played all over the world. And so if it seems a little weighted heavily on tonight's program with marches and Carl King and R.B. Hall and people of that writing on that genre, it's because we love those marches, and we hope you do too.
Ready?